2 cards on the bottom for Roland, a Multi 5, and we are ready to go. Polluted Delta pass. Nice looking Polluted Delta with a retro frame. And there's a Flooded Strand.
Sure.
Ramalito, thank you for the reset with Prime. 11 months. 1 more month for Ramalito, and it would be a huge achievement for all of us.
Okay.
Dragon's Rage Channeler on the board. Another retro frame card. Wow, they're giving everything a retro frame now. I don't know. What happened to modern frame cards? All right, Wasteland on the Volcanic Island. Attacking for 1, just 1 type in the yard right now. That type is land, of course. No land drop for Roland. Uh-oh. I see a Force of Will and a Psychic Frog in Roland's hand. I can't tell what else is in there.
In your upkeep.
Okay, we're moving to Roland's upkeep and then a fetch. Hegel says Planar Chaos Frames, please. Doesn't it seem like the Universes Beyond are kind of using the Planar Chaos Frames? Kind of looks like that. And a Fatal Push on Dragon's Rage Channeler.
Force pitching.
Roland's going to protect DRC here. Force pitching Psychic Frog. Another retro frame card. Surveil. Brainstorm into the yard. All right, so 1 frog is gone forever, but the DRC survives. A Daze will now protect the Fatal Push. Well, I said the DRC survives, but it did for a moment, it looked like, but it did not survive in the end. Fatal Push takes it out.
No.
Spoke too soon, folks. If you got a Hype Train emote, share that in the chat. Looks like a... Oh, what did I get here? A balloon dog? I don't even know what that is. All right, share your balloon dogs in the chat. All right, so Roland found a land. Things are coming together. Alec with just basics. I played against Alec actually yesterday on what was likely a similar list. This deck is blue-black, no grief scam stuff, at least in the version I played against. This is from a different day. And, oh my goodness, what's the new? Nethergoyf, Tameo, among others. Psychic Frog. Morsa, Audrey just gifted 10 subs. 211 now on the channel. Thank you, Audrey. Really appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Appreciate the love. I'm sure everyone's receiving the gift subs. Appreciates it as well. Audrey says, happy birthday, Chris. Thank you, Audrey. Thank you. So Wasteland knocks out Volcanic Island. And here's a Psychic Frog. So no days available for Roland. Well, no land to use for days is for Roland. Roland has a days in hand. Nothing to waste for Roland either. Psychic Frog is in, it looks like. And Roland's going to scoop it up. Alec takes game 1. Pastinia says, happy birthday, Chris, as it's today. Thank you for the happy birthday. It is not today. It is this coming Friday, but close. We're getting really, really close, folks. Maybe too close.
Ability's already on the stack.
I have anxiety about my birthday. All right, Polluted Delta getting cracked. Volcanic Island. Dragon's Rage Channeler, very good. Mr. Arch says Chris is turning 21. Yeah, yeah.
the Bowmaster pressure.
Yeah, 50 years old, exactly.
I'm at 16. Yes.
So a Dragon's Rage channeler on the board once again for Roland. If you've been paying attention to Legacy for the past couple of years, you're aware of how fast Dragon's Rage channeler can fill up the graveyard. A Wasteland fired off. Is Roland going to miss a land drop again? No.
6. Is 6? Yeah. Yeah. That's
I've thought about it a bit recently. Like, I'm playing Magic most of my life, starting in 1995, and how long ago that is crazy.
now attack. Second one.
Mishra's Bauble, double surveil, neat. Fill up the graveyard, puts a Ponder and a Force of Will in there. Going to take a look at the top card of Alec's deck. It is a Brazen Borrower. Okay.
It's like, there's no way this is going to resolve that full hand of cards, just land drop, just sitting there on Forces of Will.
All right. Looks like we have Delirium, land, sorcery, instant, artifact. Swing for 3.
No.
Time for that had passed.
Perfect knowledge would be. Nobody likes perfect knowledge.
All right, here's a Ponder for Alec. Mr. Ark says, yeah, it's wild. I remember a friend of mine opening a Lion's Eye Diamond at his birthday party and being really bummed about it. Yeah. Yeah. Magic was just, it was different back in those days. In 1995, I was a little kid. Some other people were obviously adults playing, but for me, it was like, I looked at cards like Mox Diamond, and I'm like, I'm going to trade this to my friend. I remember trading away a Mox Diamond at one point for like, what? Urnam Jin, like terrible cards that are worth nothing now.
Yeah. Last one was really
There was also for trades back then, there was no TCG player app. So you can like check that you're making a fair trade. It was like one kid is saying, I saw that card is worth $20, but your card is only worth $1. And I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I don't know. I got ripped off left and right for sure. There were some predatory folks with trade binders back in the day. There's one in particular I remember from when I was a teenager, like, ripped me off for a whole bunch of stuff, and I realized it later. I forget how. Maybe I checked like Inquest price guide or something. I was livid. I was like, they like took $100 worth of my cards for like $4 of their cards. I just had no idea what I was doing. But that's just how things were back then. And I remember who it was too, and I will find you. Scum. All right, triple Dragon's Rage channeler. No, we're gonna daze one. Alec's still in trouble though. All right, Alec goes down to 2 after a swing for 6 from these 2 delirious Dragon's Rage channelers. The phone is updated. Yeah, I was an Inquest subscriber. I used to read each not episode, whatever. It's been a while since I've looked at a magazine. I forgot what they're even called. It's so funny. Magazine issues. I was a big fan of Inquest magazine. 1 card on the bottom for Alec. Misty Rainforest.
I will. I'll keep it.
Like, there should be more head on board with all your days.
I think my brother was also a subscriber to Wizard magazine. So I was getting the comic book magazine in the mail as well. And I didn't even really collect comics, but I found it fun to look at it as well. I was into superheroes like Marvel and stuff like that. Keith Masterflex says our only issues are grief now. Oh, man. Him to Turok, folks. Johnny Cash says both of these lists running the Frog. Yeah, both of these lists have Psychic Frog. Psychic Frog is hot right now in Legacy, for sure. I was at the LGS playing some Legacy last night, and there were frogs all over the place.
I will trade a first and red lock. Sure. Has to.
Okay. This is super narrow, and probably nobody's going to know what I'm talking about. But those of you that were Inquest subscribers, do you remember when Inquest made their own board game? It had like robots and aliens or something like that. And it was all like paper cutouts. Does anybody know what that was called and how I could find it? Space Station Zemo? Was that what it was? That name doesn't ring a bell. But you could be right. I'm not sure. I'll have to look later.
What's the appropriate phasing count?
Whatever works for you.
You don't exist.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna shuffle again too.
Okay. Oh, fair enough. Okay.
Okay, I'm going to check out that link maybe during the break, Jiggy.
You got it.
That's just surveil land.
That's one of the.
Okay, after our brainstorm, this Him to Turok is going to resolve. We're going to do the dice rolling thing. Can't really do it that way. Does anybody have a D8?
It's such a cool idea, especially like with whites and elves.
Okay, so we're going to pick one, and then we're going to... Okay. Looks like a Delver and a Counterbalance into the trash. Well, at least Roland has Delirium now.
All right, draw. Let's see.
All right, Jiggy seems to be knowledgeable. Maybe Jiggy has the one. I'm going to look during the break, and I'm going to see if Jiggy found the game I'm talking about. Okay, here's Delver. Ponder, maybe set up a Delver flip. I don't believe Alec has any Delver of Secrets in the deck. The creatures in Alec's deck, as I mentioned before, definitely Nethergoyf, definitely Psychic Frog. There's Bowmaster's some number in there. But I don't think there are any Delvers. Okay, there's a frog.
Lucky. Set. We'll draw. Play another wasteland. Sure.
Okay, Wasteland on Volcanic Island. There's been a lot of clipping of lands in this match. Bolt revealed. Delver will flip. As most of you are aware, Psychic Frog pretty immune to lightning bolt. Okay, Roland drops to 18. The other ability of Psychic Frog is that it can gain flying until end of turn, so Insectile Aberration can be blocked here profitably, potentially.
It's exalted.
Yeah.
6 combinations.
But maybe Insectile Aberration's 3 power plus a bolt could finish off this frog. I can't tell how many cards Alec has in hand. You also don't necessarily always want to dump your hand, so this is an interesting situation right here. I'm curious how this is going to play out. Will the Insectile Aberration stay back on defense? That could be a good plan. Alec's deck is very removal heavy relative to the average tempo deck, I would say, at least from what I've seen. There's some number of like Shoulders Edict, Fatal Push, maybe Dismember. There's a bunch of removal in here. There might even be 1 Dark Banishing.
Interesting.
That's a rumor I heard. Roland is in the chat calling slow play on himself.
I want to do things, but I'm like, I want to lose the frog.
I did not play Overpower back in the day. I had other 90s games that kept me occupied. I played the Decipher Star Wars CCG, played Pokemon for a little while. A few others. Looks like Roland's holding a frog, but not really sure what the move is here.
Graveyard. Have to remove 3.
Otherwise, there's no chance.
Okay, attacking for 3, no blocks. Insectile Aberration gets through. Tapping 2, Psychic Frog. It's getting dazed. Roland can protect it with a daze, and that will be the move. Roland's Grixis Delver deck list was posted today in our Discord server. Go check that out if you're interested. We don't collect every list at every event we cover on the channel. A lot of the events, like the match we're watching right now, are from FNM, where we have people walking in 2 minutes before round 1 begins, and it just is not logistically possible to collect every list. We're just kind of like not going to do that. All right, here's a Dismember on Psychic Frog. Roland has 3 cards in hand. Psychic Frog down.
Yep.
Psychic Frog comes in. And trigger draw. Psychic Frog continues to impress.
Go ahead.
Looks like Roland's holding a Wasteland Volk that we knew about, Lightning Bolts, and Bowmaster.
Trying to play. Here it's good.
Yeah, Inquest Magazine was pretty big on Mage Knight. I played HeroClix quite a bit. I had a whole bunch of HeroClix. Love that game. Do we have any HeroClix fans watching? Does anybody know what I'm talking about? All right, Bowmaster in response to a brainstorm. This is what we want. If we're rolling. Looks like Bowmaster is going to resolve, and we're going to ping Alec here. And then the brainstorm is going to resolve as well. It doesn't look like anything is going to happen in between. If Alec has a removal for Bowmaster, it hasn't been signaled yet. All right, we're doing the sad brainstorm, I guess. Okay, so the stuff kind of happened in the wrong order, but we're going to end up with the appropriate result. 3 damage to the face for Alec from this Bowmaster. The Orc army will grow. That hasn't happened yet. A little jumbled, but hopefully the Orc army remembers to grow.
Yeah, 2 cards? 2 cards. Yeah.
All right. Well, 2 cards in Roland's hand. Alec is going to fetch down to 4. All right. Orc army corrected.
That is 1 in a green landfall copy the forest, basically.
Yeah, well, it makes a bug.
It makes a bug on landfall no matter what, but 1 in a green is copy the forest. Yeah, I got you. Cool. You got it. Okay. And bestow is when it dies, it becomes a creature again.
Yeah, this is
okay.
become a creature, yeah.
Okay, you got it.
Landfall?
Landfall. That's pretty good. Insects.
I get asked a lot about, like, you know, sideboards and what deck lists should people play. And all right, here's another Goyf. And this is my opinion. You know, if you want to up your game, you want to, you know, level up, so to speak. Stuff like resolving, like the Bowmaster triggers and stuff like that in the right order. I know it can be FNM and you're just kind of like casually just running through the motions and it's not that serious, but just understanding how all that stuff works in detail and like knowing how jumbling that kind of a thing can go really wrong in a competitive event can be pretty huge. Does that make sense?
That's you? Okay.
Yeah, and I know both Alec and Roland know how this stuff works. It's not that I'm talking about them specifically. It's just that, like, you know, in a competitive event, it just is worth it to do all that stuff in the correct order because you really can, in some situations, allow your opponent a window to take advantage of you if you don't understand how that stuff works. All right, Bolt hits Psychic Frog, and we're down to 4 life, so we're going to see a big attack here. Nethergoyf has 4 power. And this is a lethal attack. Only 1 blocker available. Nile Spellbomb does nothing. And that is the handshake. That is the match. Roland gets it. Nicely played. GG's. All right. That was a good match. Now let's take a look at this Space Station Zemo game.